Hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on elevating the onboarding customer experiences with ABBYY Mobile Solutions. Thank you for joining. I'm Maxime Vermeer, and I'll be your host for today. To give you a bit more insight about what we'll be talking about during this webinar is, first of all, we'll have a look at market demand and drivers. Next up, we'll talk a bit about the actual industry reality of what we see versus demand in the market and what is actually being done today. We'll highlight a couple of pain points, and then we'll get to the most interesting part, which is, of course, demonstration of our technologies that we can offer. To round everything up, we'll have a look at the overview of the mobile portfolio to tell you more about how you can deliver a great customer experience. Now, during this session, you're able to ask questions via our chat or via the questions box, and we'll be answering your questions at the end of the session. Now, as we have a lot of participants today, I'm not sure if we'll be able to answer all of the questions live, but we will definitely be getting back to you with an answer to your question after the session has ended. So let's dive right in. So as I said, we'll have a look at market demand and industry reality, which is going to paint kind of a picture that they're not exactly aligned. So in terms of market demand, it is that customer experience is a key brand differentiator. Now, what is important for you to know is that by 2020, customer experience will actually overtake price and product as the key brand differentiator. So leveraging the fact that you enable everything within your possibilities to provide that excellent customer experience will make the difference when customers have to choose between you or your competitors. Now, the first reason for that is that the mobile experience has to have a priority. That is what the current demographic actually wants. So 52% of customers are actually less likely to engage with a company due to a bad mobile experience. That is why 84% of customer-centric companies focus on this mobile experience. Customer retention is actually one of their top reasons to invest in customer experience, because what they've noticed is that by increasing the retention rate by only a mere 5%, the overall profitability is increased by 75%, which is a staggering result. Now, in today's day and age, we want everything to be contextual, personal, and current in terms of the information that we receive from both our friends, our family, but also from the companies that we interact with. The reason for that being is that millennials are truly the first digitally native generation, and they expect to receive a 24/7 personalized interaction. Now, what is important is that by 2025, they will actually make up 75% of the working force, and also, more importantly, the spending power within our economy. You can then understand that if that is your biggest market that you can access, you need to be ready to be able to service to their market demands. Another key market demand that we're seeing in terms of customer experience is a consistent and very able omni-channel way of interacting with your customers. A strong omni-channel offering retains on average 89% of existing customers, compared to the only 33% retention rate from companies with weak omni-channel strategies. You can link all these four things together in seeing that the way that we want to interact with different companies or with different services is definitely changing. We want to be able to have the kind of experience that is easy. We want to be able to be a reason for them to invest in us and deliver a great service. And we want everything tailored to our needs specifically, and we want to talk to them in whichever kind of way that we want, whether that is through mobile, through a chatbot, or something else. Now, this is what the market is asking for. and is something that you can play into to be your key brand differentiator. Now, what about what the industry reality really is? There's still a lot of complexity going around. Transaction complexity, and transaction being a specific task that you want to do with one of the services, for example, onboarding or getting signed up for a new service that you want to consume, is an issue for 38% of the users, simply because it's too many steps, it's a tedious process, and often involves physical tasks that you have to do, going to an office, sending a document. Another reality is that over 70% of banks are lacking to offer an end-to-end digital onboarding experience, meaning that the process itself might begin digitally, but will always involve paper. People have been saying that paper is going to die, but after still 14 years, well, actually 15 years now that I've heard that, it's still around. And that lack of an end-to-end digital experience is really playing into the hand of offering a bad customer experience. Another reason why we're seeing a bit more painful customer industry reality is that all of these systems that we have on the back end are completely disconnected from the mobile initiatives that they're trying to implement to have a better customer experience, which again also plays into the fact that you cannot have an end-to-end digital experience simply because the two systems are disconnected. They then only serve as a slow or a different way to input, but you don't get immediate feedback. You submit your form to request a new service, you submit your documents to be able to sign up for a new telecom operator, and instead of having immediate feedback that everything is okay, you have your new telephone number or you have your new car loan, you have to wait because it's not a fully connected system. And the last industry reality is that there's a very slow adoption rate of these new technologies. And actually, there's a slow adoption rate to respond to this market demand that we're seeing today. The reason is actually quite simple. You require a specific kind of skill set and a specific set of people to be able to implement these new and innovative technologies, especially around mobile. However, all of these realities, combined with the information we have on the market, actually create an opportunity for you and for your customers. Now, what is interesting to see is that cross-industry, there's always the same kind of pain points that are coming back. Within the join and retain phase of a customer onboarding process, no matter which kind of industry you're in, whether that be banking or financial institutions, insurance, healthcare, logistics, it's always a struggle to convince any kind of user to download a native app prior to them becoming a customer. Simply because, well, I talk from my own experience, if a specific service asks me to download a native app before I'm actually sure whether I want to start consuming that service, it's already holding me back. I want this process to be easier, simpler. I want the information to come to me instead of me having to go and find the information myself. There's also the problem of high dropout rates during the application process, due again to the complexity that we saw in the previous discussions. And all of these different points, such as customer churn due to a bad customer experience, or this is actually after you've onboarded the customer, but during the customer service interactions, are all common things that these companies are trying to solve. So high dropout rate, customer churn, and downloading native app prior to the sign-up phase is something that we hope to solve as well. Now, what is interesting is that if you look at the overview of a customer onboarding process, and we look at this process up close, we see that there is a very fragile space where it's actually very important to apply the necessary amount of attention and optimization in order to prepare for a strong customer loyalty. Now, if you look at this overview, we have our customer onboarding process that starts with engage, join, and retain, and grow. Now, within the phases join and retain, it's actually incredibly important to ensure that this process is as easy as it could possibly be. A few examples are account opening or account enrollment, and of course, customer service. And it is within these two areas that we want to show you what our mobile technologies are actually able to deliver so that you can ensure that you can get that 5% additional users or even more to increase your profitability. The first use case that I want to show you is actually the one of a car loan application. Now, no matter which kind of industry you're in, the sign-up process is a crucial part of the onboarding process, and it's one of the initial engagements you have with your customers. And as we always say, first impressions last. I can speak about this because I actually had to go through a similar kind of process recently, and the process was so painful that it actually stuck with me, and I ended up changing provider for this particular service simply because I was never happy again afterwards. So it really is true that this kind of easy and smooth onboarding process can make a huge difference down the line. Now, for our account sign-up case, we will focus on a car loan application in this case. And here, like many other use cases, there are multiple documents required to initiate the loan or the sign-up process. Initially, this always begins with the customer needing to provide specific documents which have the required information. So let's have a look. So in this case, we're using mobile web capture to enable an onboarding process. ABBYY Mobile Web Capture is a JavaScript-based SDK that can be easily implemented into your website for a frictionless account sign-up process. Now, in this demo video, we will show you how the financial institution initiates the loan via a link that is easily sent to a mobile device. From this link, the user can then open it and see it in a mobile web browser on their tablet or mobile phone. Once the customer receives the link from the financial institution, they're required to provide their ID in this kind of process. And it's actually very simple. They just point it towards their ID card, and all of the information is automatically captured using mobile capture to capture the images, and in this case, Flexi Capture in the background in the cloud for real-time processing. The same thing happened for a utility bill. You just point, the camera automatically uses the video frames of the device to determine the quality of the image, and then captures it at exactly the right moment to ensure that we can easily process it in the backend. Now, as you can see, and perhaps even compare to a similar kind of process that you might have done recently, it's a major difference between having to submit these documents manually, mail them, email them yourself, having to make a scan, having to make a photo, and then hearing back from the company or financial institution that you're working with to hear back from them, well, it wasn't good enough. This kind of process, this kind of customer experience that you saw in this video is as smooth as it could possibly be. You take the customer by the hand, tell them what to do, and help them do it by providing the necessary technologies to make their customer experience as smooth as possible. In our next example, once the customer has gone through the initial registration process, there's always a bit of additional information that you want them to provide to you. Now, in this case, we're looking at custom data capture with Mobile Capture SDK. You can easily configure Mobile Capture SDK to capture information from a document based on a specific set of regular expressions. There's also plenty of other features that are built into the product. Using these mobile technologies, you can add to your native application a set of capabilities that will allow you to create a great customer experience and also retain your customers quite easily. Now, in this use case or this example, we're going to capture in real time via the video stream, via a regular expression, the social security number using our ABBYY mobile capture SDK. Again, we simply hold the camera of the mobile device over the document, and it will search and use the video stream to identify a frame, an image that will perfectly correspond to the information that we're looking for. Once it has identified it, it will send it back to the mobile application. And this is all happening on the mobile device and allows you to do it offline even. But in some cases, you might not only want the actual information that you need to have from the customer. You also might want to have the document itself. Now, as I said during our video of our car loan application, it's important that we have these documents in good quality so that we can ensure that the downstream process will run as smooth as possible. In this video, we'll show you using Mobile Capture SDK that you're able to capture the document at the perfect time, and even as a developer, get feedback on its quality, and then use that to completely interact with the customer and identify when it's the most opportune moment to take the picture. The green blocks that you see indicate that the image or the parts of the image are actually perfect for OCR and allow you to capture the data as quickly as possible, whether that is in the Mobile Capture SDK to capture a couple of highlights, or by sending it to a backend system to capture the entire document and extract all of the valuable information. This is just an example of the flexibility that Mobile Capture provides, as you can not only capture in real time, but also automatically capture images, and requiring a very limited amount of effort by your customer by giving him that smooth user experience on his mobile device so that you can have accurate results for backend processing. Now, the ABBYY mobile solutions are here for your onboarding journey. And to give you an overview of how the full ecosystem fits together and allows you to go end-to-end in that customer onboarding journey and provide a great user experience, I wanted to paint a bit of a picture for you so you can see the complete architecture. So, as always, with a customer that you're trying to onboard, we don't want them to download a native app. We just send them the link, like we did in the mobile car loan application video. So from your mobile website, you can enable mobile web capture simply by loading the necessary libraries into it. It's zero footprint, which means that it can be implemented in seconds and comes with plenty of code examples and a ready-made UI for visualizing the necessary components. Now, by adding mobile web capture into your existing mobile website or your new mobile website to support a new process, you can have the capabilities to actually capture images on the fly using the video stream and having them perfectly set up for information capture down the line. With just 3 lines of code, you can add these functionalities quite easily to your existing mobile website. Now, if you want to go even further, as you saw again in the car loan application, you can connect the Mobile Web Capture SDK to FlexiCapture Cloud API. FlexiCapture Cloud API offers real-time processing, enabling you to send document images into the cloud, have them processed in less than 3 seconds, and then have the information sent back to your mobile website to be submitted into the form that the customer is filling in. Both SDKs are actually quite simple to leverage. The FlexiCapture Cloud API is based on REST, so it's very easy to use, and it can also be used beyond your mobile web application. The Mobile Web Capture SDK actually comes pre-configured and is going to have a connector built in for the FlexiCapture Cloud API. Now, on the other end, once you have your customer onboarded, he will be using your native app or customer mobile app. There, we have our Mobile Capture SDK, which again allows you to add a set of functionalities, a set of possibilities to your mobile application, going from capturing information on the fly, making something more contextual by allowing the user to point and look at something that he's seeing and then giving him feedback based on the new service that you could provide, for example. But also allowing you to capture images and data so that you can easily integrate that, again, into a backend system. With the Mobile Capture SDK, you can capture documents on device, but again, you can also connect it to FlexiCapture in the cloud. With FlexiCapture in the cloud, you'll be able to capture a full end-to-end process and have all of that data delivered either to your mobile application on the go in real time or connect it to your backend systems. Now, I promised to give you an overview of the mobile solutions, but before we do that, let's just recap what we've talked about so far. We've looked at the different market demands. We see that the millennials is a growing set of the population, which will have the driving force within both spending and the actual workforce itself. So they will be demanding what is going to be developed and also implemented for the next couple of years. The reality of that fact is that the industry at the moment is not actually meeting those demands quite yet. So this creates an opportunity for companies to innovate using our ABBYY mobile solutions to be able to deliver on those market demands. We have mobile capture to allow you to give your native apps a new set of capabilities to interact in different ways with the world around you and capture information on device, but also connect it to our cloud processing solutions. And then, of course, our newest and latest innovative technology, mobile web capture, that allows you to capture documents on the fly without any kind of installation, simply from the mobile web browser. To give you a bit more detail, let's look at these different solutions individually. Now, with mobile web capture, you will be able to grow your customer base by revamping your customer experience. It's a mobile web-based image capture solution, providing the same experience as a native app without the need to actually install anything. As I said before, it's super lightweight, it's very easy to implement, it comes with everything that you need to be able to create a new and exhilarating customer experience. A great user experience comes with it, and it allows you to have good quality pictures with a limited amount of customer interaction at the same time. By guiding the customer on what to do and giving him the necessary feedback on his screen about what to capture or how to capture it, allows him to feel that you actually have what it takes to provide an excellent service. The ease of integration and having it inside of your mobile website allows you to build a set of comprehensive image capture solutions for example, a web-based digital account opening process. If you look beyond that, after we've onboarded the customer, we look at retaining them with our mobile capture SDK. This AI-enabled SDK allows end-to-end real-time mobile experiences for improved customer retention and satisfaction rates, simply by providing an easy way to interact with your customers and for them to interact with the world around them. It will enable smoother customer self-service scenarios, providing a variety of out-of-the-box data capture functionalities. But again, it can be integrated easily into your existing application, but it brings with it a set of capabilities that allow it to then go beyond and also integrate it with backend systems. Now, talking about these backend systems, they will allow you to multiply the benefit that you will be able to achieve with these mobile technologies. And to give you an overview of the different possibilities that we as ABBYY offer, we'll have a look at them. With ABBYY Vantage connected to an RPA platform for your automation, you will be able to use mobile capture as a skill, enabling your digital workforce, your robots, your RPA platform to have new capability and capture documents on the fly using either mobile web capture or mobile capture SDK, directly connected into the Vantage platform and directly connected into your RPA process. With the FlexiCapture platform, mobile can serve as a remote channel that feeds it to capture any kind of document data, and also, of course, to capture invoice data using our FlexiCapture for invoices. And of course, as we saw in a lot of the videos, cloud processing. Mobile can serve as the front end for an easy and lightweight solution that is based on a cloud environment. Any of these, or the combination of all of these, will allow you to create a very extensive and elaborate customer experience that really makes the difference for your customers and for your company in return. And by using these backend systems, you'll be able to multiply the effect that our mobile technologies have. So that was an overview of the different things that we offer in terms of mobile technologies and how you can leverage them to enable yourself and your customers to really feel what the difference is when you have a great customer experience. Using mobile web capture, you can capture on the fly without any kind of installation. Using mobile capture SDK, you can enrich your existing or your new mobile app. And with all of the backend solutions, you can have processing of data on the fly, real time, either from the cloud or from within your own premises. I'll now open up the floor to any questions you might have, and I'll be happy to answer them.